Welcome back to So Bad It's Good, presented by Betches Media. Today, we have a star with us. I am so excited to be in studio. I'm in studio in New York with our next guest. Now, I got to speak with her and a couple of her castmates from Summer House Martha's Vineyard when it first premiered, but now the Bravo planetary system has taken her in, and she is in the new season of Winter House, which just premiered. You will now have seen the second episode at this point, and I got to tell you, I am loving it. And I love her. I think we all do. She had potentially one of the most awkward scenes in the first episode in a hot tub that I've ever seen, and I've seen things involving water like the movie Jaws, and this was worse than Jaws. She's also a DJ. She has a nonprofit. She's going to be at BravoCon. She's amazing. The one and only Jordan Emanuel. Jordan, thank you so much for being here.
What an intro.
I can keep going. I can keep going.
I might request that.
No, I was like, so funny when I was doing research, and I was like, it's always funny talking to these people and how much you have going on even besides the Bravo of it all.
Yeah. I like to be busy.
I mean, it sounds like you are. Was that ever a concern about getting on any type of reality series of, is this going to help everything that I'm doing, or could it potentially hurt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Capricorn, so I've always got my business boss girl mode on. And of course, I want to use this platform to elevate the things that I'm doing. So that definitely was always in the back of my mind. But also, I'm only filming for, 2.5, 3 weeks at a time for both of these shows. So it doesn't really take away from anything else that I'm doing either. So
it's funny, as the viewer, though, we look at it and we're like, this is their entire life.
Right. And I get so many comments like that. And I'm like, you do realize this, you're just seeing me on vacation. Like you actually have no idea what my normal day-to-day life looks like, but go off.
Well, I mean, so we loved you on the first season of Martha's Vineyard. I thought that show worked so well. You guys can binge all of the episodes, obviously, but I thought it was so great. And I was so excited you guys got a second season.
Me too.
Because you really showed, even when I thought the initial, actual Summer House, I thought it's kind of dipped sometimes. You guys really strengthened that in terms of relationships, friendships, and where you ended the season, where I wanted to see more. Were you excited how that all played out?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely had a breakdown.
Yeah.
Or a breakthrough. I'm gonna
Let's
say it was
call
a
it
breakthrough.
Capricorn, breakthrough.
That part.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was quite an interesting experience, especially because we all had such close relationships going into it. At least the majority of us
Which is
did.
what I love.
Right. But sometimes that can be heavy too, because you do have so much history, and we are going through so many changes that navigating, different people getting married, babies, jobs, changes, moving, everything that was going on. It's like tough to have that play out in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to this next season because we have more parties. Like, it's warmer. We're out.
Are they
in the
making you
hot
dress
tub
in more
more
costumes like they do in Winter House?
Well, I love a costume. So I had a really fun themed party that you have to be on the lookout for. I'm really looking forward to that.
They approached you then to do Winter House. Was there any trepidation, or was there an immediate, heck yeah, I want to do that?
I'm a try everything once type of chick.
Yeah.
So I immediately was like, okay, I'm on my way.
Now,
I can't snowboard, but I'm on my way.
Dude, if I have to hear Kyle talking about shredding the gnar one more time, I'm going to lose it. Did he never taught you how to shred the gnar?
Yeah, he was on the advanced side. I was on the little bunny hill hop.
Oh my God, my knee would go out immediately. You're in this house. Do you know who's coming before you get there?
Not really. Other than Danielle and Kyle and Amanda, I did not know who was going to be at the house.
So it was kind of a surprise as people were getting there. You have Brian Benny, of course. You have Alex from Below Deck. You have Malia and Katie from Below Deck. So it's a really good blend of all of these things. And I think a lot of people will sometimes go, oh, I don't know why they're doing. I love seeing all of these people in a different element.
I was really happy about it personally because I was going into it having just filmed Summer House Martha's Vineyard without it coming out. So I still hadn't.
Okay, that's what I was curious. Okay, cool.
I still hadn't gone through the whole process of seeing everything and the reception. I hadn't done any of that. So to me, it was like I was still the new kid coming into this situation. And I was intimidated a little bit coming into like what felt like veterans. And so I was happy that they switched everything up because I wasn't just alone in that. It was like Brian was coming from Family Karma. Alex was coming from Below Deck. Like people were coming from different places. So there wasn't all like previously like solidified relationships.
And you didn't have the Craig and the Austin and like the Southern charm of it all that they were bringing. Like they put those in the initial seasons of Winter House. So it was great that they added all of this new vibrancy to it. But of course, I think you watch Vanderpump Rules and a lot of the stuff in the first episode talks about Scandival because Schwartz is going to be there and Sandoval was supposed to be there. So it's this, is he coming? What's going to happen when he comes? Danielle obviously has feelings about this. What were your feelings as somebody that watches Vanderpump about Scandival and Schwartz coming in? Did you already have a preconceived notion of Tom Schwartz?
No, not really. I think for me, I just was hoping he would be in a good place to where it wasn't carrying over to our vacation, and it wasn't.
You were like, I'm here. Like I said, this is my vacation.
Right.
Do not ruin it.
Please, like we're here to turn up and have a good time, and I didn't want him to come in and be stressed, and then we all be bogged down by it. But that was not the case at all.
Were you worried that Tom Schwartz was going to hit on you?
No.
That was such a quick no.
I didn't even think about that.
I would have been like, is this guy gonna? Well, because that's the interesting thing too. It's very like schoolyard is that the cast starts going like, would you make out with this person? Would you make out with this person? And I kind of love that. In the first episode, you get hit on 2 times that we see. You get Brian in a hallway and then Alex in the jacuzzi. And with Brian, it was so, this guy, I just feel, I don't know, he just comes off like a nerdy puppy dog. I mean, how is that to be hit on him in that moment?
Well, let him tell it. He said he only went for it 30%, so it doesn't count as a full rejection.
My God, 30, I gave
30
you
to 40%. I was like, you did. You did, and it fell flat, and it's okay.
Now, Alex gave 120%.
Oh, he went for it.
So
he went for it.
You guys, if you haven't seen this, and you can binge right now, it's only 2 episodes in. Alex does, I mean, I've watched this scene now so many times, and I'm going to put the Jaws music underneath it because it's like, da-dun, da-dun. You get in there, and you are just having a jacuzzi. There is maybe a little tiny flirtation that you would have entertained.
Yeah.
But then he's like, you're so flippin' beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's what you go, yeah. And
well, because we had just met. And so, you know, coming from Martha's Vineyard, I had just ended celibacy, like literally recently from when we were filming Winter House. So I wasn't going to get down like that the first night.
And you talk about that in The Talking Head, which I thought was amazing. I was like, she actually has a plan for her own self. I mean, that's truly what we want.
Yeah.
But also this guy, like first night in at the hot tub, and it's like a compliment's fine. And you go, yeah, thank you. And then he's like, yeah. And he starts looking at you, which I can't imagine from your like his glassy eyes. And then he moves in. And did they slow that down at all?
No, that was real life. Like he really was moving.
So slow. And you guys, she does not move at all until he gets right there in the face. And you just you just put your head to the left. And by the way, I said this on my show. I said, it looks like you are so practiced on leaning your head to the left. Like so many people have probably tried to kiss you in some awkward moment that you were like, the old left.
It's happened before.
Yeah.
It's happened before. But yeah, I didn't want to give him like the hard reject. Because I love Alex so much. He's the funniest person and he's so sweet. But yeah, he was turned that night and he was just, he had no shame.
And then the next morning he's just like, hey, what happened?
Good morning.
Hey.
Back to forgot all about it.
That's one of my questions. Did he really forget all about it? Or was like, my best move is to say I forgot about it?
I don't think he remembered everything, to be honest with you. He was pretty lit.
Now,
we were all pretty lit.
Did you watch back the first episode?
Yes.
Now, then he goes out with you guys are skiing, and then Danielle, he starts putting a little bit of a light move, and Danielle is like, yo, dude, pick one at a time here or something, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
But we see in the trailer that potentially things happen with them as well.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, now, I don't know what you can answer on this, is that we see potentially that you might entertain a mild flirtation with Corey Kiefer, who is no longer wearing the pearl necklace, which I don't know if he used to wear a pearl necklace. Okay. So you might entertain a mild flirtation, but then we have Malia, who in the preview, we see literally hop on him like it's a carousel horse.
Not a carousel horse.
Like literally like went for the lip and like bit down on it, it seems like. And then at the end of the second episode, we see the trailer for the third episode, and you are getting comforted by Alex and you're in tears.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna blame it on altitude. Altitude
Can't we just
is
blame it
a
on
real
Corey?
thing. Well, I just wasn't clear what his relationship status was, and we weren't really getting a clear answer at that time. So to me, I was like, this is the one person who's not on my dick in this house. So I was like, okay, let me see. Like, let me see a little makeout maybe. Like,
I love it.
You're
The one
cute.
person that is not in a hot tub, like
Right.
slow-mowing me, I will be willing to give a chance.
So I was like, okay. And he wasn't saying outright, what was going on. I don't think he knew at that point. I don't think they had established it. So Malia and I both were kind of like, well,
I'll race you. And then she hops on it. Yeah. Well, I will say this about Corey. They have a couple of scenes where you guys are asking him a direct question. And it does seem like that kind of typical guy thing of like, I don't know, because I think he would enjoy the possibility of potentially a makeout or hooking up with another castmate.
I mean, he behaved.
He behaved. Okay, that's good.
You'll see, I shoot my shot and get shot down.
What?
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
These things happen. I tried. These things happen.
I like that Alex was the one comforting you in slow motion. He's like,
yeah.
So then, Kyle, Amanda's not in the show yet. I think she fell ill, so she'll be in there. Was there anybody that you just loved from the get-go? Like this is my girl or guy for?
I really loved everybody. I think it took me a minute to get out of my own head. I feel like I was very much like self-conscious and just not really knowing where I fit for a little bit. But at one point, we really just became a really dysfunctional family.
That's what we want. That's what we want.
Truly. I love Casey. She was also very new to everything. She's like a pro skier.
Now, Casey's Danielle's friend, right?
Yeah.
Who's also, I think she's like Bitcoin or crypto or
she's in
something.
crypto. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that I know nothing about crypto and I want to keep it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, wow, she's either really rich or really not. Yeah. And by the way, she's talking in the first episode. She's like, I don't want to make out with somebody or something. What if you fart in front of them? I was like, what? This is amazing.
That's very Casey. And you'll see more of her when she is one of a kind. Malia, I love too. After we got over our little hiccup.
And you never watched Below Deck. Like
I know.
Did you ever find out like why people give her a hard time?
She told me about it, but I've
like,
never watched.
I ratted on somebody about Valium on a boat.
Well, that's not quite what she said, but she said that, people were upset.
We see Schwartz get in there and he obviously is like, oh, I needed this so badly. Oh. And then we
Kissing
potentially.
the ground.
Exactly. And then we see, he's potentially flirting with Katie Floody in the second episode, and we see that potentially things happen. Was it interesting to be around him when he really was in the heat of this scandal that, Bravo, it just exploded?
Yeah.
I mean, was
literally
that
the week before.
That's what I'm saying. Was it?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember watching his walk and talk airport video that some TMZ guy did, and it was one of the most bizarre things I'd ever seen. And I know he was in a really wild place. Do you think going to Winter House was a good thing for him overall?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like he was able to check all the baggage, for the most part, at the door and really kind of clock in with us. And he was definitely as present as he possibly could. He did have to go back to shoot the reunion and then come back.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And that reunion was brutal.
Those were his words exactly. We were like, how did it go? He's like,
God.
That was the seventh layer of hell.
But that's what I like. I like that we actually get to see like, okay, this universe, a shared universe that the fans get to see like, okay, so you're just coming off Martha's Vineyard and now you're here. And then I love it that I know then you go back to film the second season of Martha's Vineyard. Did you bring anything that you learned in the Winter House into the second season of Summer House? Like, because you're around these pros like Kyle and all of these people. Are they teaching you little tricks?
I mean, they taught me a lot. I will say that they taught me a lot, and I definitely brought a lot of that energy and just a lot of that lightheartedness. At least I tried to the house, especially like with our parties and things like that, and just having a good time. Definitely.
How are you and Amir this season?
We're good. I mean, we're good.
Yeah, no,
as far as I know.
No. I'm curious about it. No, we'll see that in the second season. Now you are going to BravoCon this week.
Yep.
Are you excited for BravoCon in Vegas?
I am excited. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm
Yeah.
excited.
It's going to be insane.
It's gonna be a time, and I love Vegas. I'm there all the time. I love to gamble,
Oh boy.
so you'll see me at the roulette table.
If she asks for money this week, you guys, she's good for it. Just give her the money. Ask her where
It's an investment.
Yeah, it's an investment. She's not going to do Bitcoin or crypto, but she will gamble your money away in Vegas. That's what I'm scared about, is that, like, making bad decisions at 3 a.m. in terms of just gambling.
That just stays in Vegas. There are no bad decisions. We
no.
just don't bring them home with us.
There's bad decisions, believe me. You talk about in one of your talking heads about, I like a guy with big baller energy.
Yeah.
I like a guy that like takes control. Is there, and this is the obvious question you always get asked, is anybody on Bravo have that energy? Does anyone have anything that would be willing to step up and impress you? No.
Not from what I've seen, at least. But I haven't met everybody, so I don't know.
Okay, you got to stay away from Austin. He's going to try to hook up with you. Did he already try?
No, I just saw him. Well, we haven't formally met, but he was at
the party the other night.
He was at the after party.
Okay.
And he didn't. I didn't even
He's laying the groundwork. That's how he moves. So listen. we see these shows. That's what. You did have the premiere party for Winter House the other night.
Yeah.
And there was press releases or like Page Six already while the party was still going on.
No, that was crazy.
Was because the big news was that Carl Radke showed up from Summer House and Lindsay Hubbard was there to support Danielle, and they were potentially in the same room. And then there was like an eyewitness of like, he walked to the left room and she stayed there. What actually went down?
Nothing. I mean, they are adults, you know what I mean? And the party was about their friends and they kept it that way. And so, of course, they're not going to sit there and have like a conversation, with everything that's going on.
Yeah, there's like
in the
no
middle
drinks
of
are going to be thrown.
No. So, they just went their separate ways. He was actually leaving, I think, when she was coming in. So there was no like banter. There was no tension. Like,
so you couldn't feel like the tension, you could cut it with a knife. You didn't feel that.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
See, that's what I mean. We got to demystify these things because Page Six made it sound like it was like Oppenheimer, like it was insane.
No, they both were fine. You know what I mean? Like they said hello, we took our pictures, we gave our hugs, and they went with their different, crews.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Wow. Because that was the first time we've seen Carl since all of this broke. And I really appreciate that Carl did not this is not turned into another Scandival. Thank goodness.
Absolutely not. No, I just think it's a sad situation. And I think there are two people that cared about each other. And it's, it's sad.
It's very real.
And it's very real. And so there's no reason to bring messiness, into it. It's just.
I think that's where Bravo comes in.
Sad.
Really.
Yeah.
That's what they've. Well, I mean, speaking of that, you are a fan of these shows, or you watch certain shows. You're a fan of The Housewives, and I know Beverly Hills, which you haven't watched the premiere yet, but get ready. Because there's a lot of stuff with Mauricio and Kyle, and potentially PK and Dorit. But these real events happen, and then it's interesting to see how a show like this, brings that story to the audience.
Right.
And then we do look at these, Page Six, these parties, we fill in these blanks like, oh my gosh, it must have been like an episode of TV. And then it's just like, no, they're adults. They left. And it's a very real situation. But are you sometimes now seeing how it actually all gets made, sometimes fascinated of like, how these things appear on Bravo to the reality of how they actually are?
Yeah, that was very interesting to learn how, like, in real time, something that we don't even look at as significant becomes significant.
Yeah.
And then it's like a life of its own a little bit. So it is something to get used to.
Well, that's what I was thinking of. Like, what happens if you actually do get into a relationship? Would you be willing to share the ups and downs of those relationships? Because it's so private and you seem like such a put together person and you're there for a good time. I mean, would you ever allow yourself to it's, Alex is messy, but you like remain so like kind of collected and like a queen in that scene. I mean, do you get sometimes worried about what the future holds for you on reality television?
No, I'm not worried at all. I don't, again, because the capacity of my shows, I'm only there for 2.5 weeks. I don't see.
Yeah, you can't like do like a 3-year relationship in 2.5 weeks.
No. So I don't know how that would work. I'm still very single, so I don't even know that that's something that I really think about. although I don't really claim my men, like I don't,
Wait, what does
I
that
can't
mean?
even imagine I would even post them on Instagram. Like the way I would post them is it'd be like sweatshirt, like gloves, like you would from the back, like hugging, and you just
A
see
little
my
bit
hands.
of like a pinky
Like
finger.
you wouldn't even, no, not even the pinky, unless it was on a glove. Like you wouldn't even know what this man looks like. You wouldn't even know if it was a mannequin.
Yeah.
Like that's just how I am normally. So I can't imagine that day that comes that I am in a relationship unless he's already in this space that I would bring him, you know, on my vacation, because usually I'm taking the vacation to get away from my normal life.
But in the back of your head, you see how the relationships go that are actually in this space. And
Right.
sometimes it adds a whole nother
Right. Yeah,
layer
I
of
couldn't
pressure.
imagine.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. That seems like it can be intense. So I don't know.
Which panels are you doing at BravoCon?
Whew, I'm doing a lot of them.
Yeah. So there's like probably a Winter House panel, I would
Mm-hmm.
imagine. And then you're probably on like a Greatest Hits panel or something.
I don't even know. I just know that I'm
Oh, the dynamic duos?
Oh, the dynamic duos with Watch What Happens Live.
Okay,
that was
yeah.
gonna be really fun. Me and Preston.
Oh,
are
that's all.
going
I love
together.
Preston. Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Is there anybody that you are really excited to see in terms of the Bravo universe that you have not met yet?
Ooh, there's a lot.
Like, is there anybody you'd freak out about?
I won't know. I'm very chill. I'm very chill. Unless Rihanna is there, then I'm losing my mind.
We are announcing Rihanna will be
Right.
there on Saturday night of BravoCon. Yeah.
Anything beyond that, I really want to meet Dorit, Erica Jane, Garcelle, like the Beverly Hills Housewives.
Are you going to
my
go see
favorite.
Erica Jane's show in Vegas while you're there? Bet it all on Blonde. It's
I don't
there's
know.
only
Is
like
she-
$8 tickets from what they're selling.
Is she
it very-
performing?
She is going to be not like.
I think we're on a panel together.
Oh my goodness.
I think we're doing something together, and I'm really excited.
That's
about
what I want to know is like the behind the scenes stuff with you guys. Like I wish there was a documentary of just you guys meeting each
I
other
know, right?
and then like kind of the conversations that you get into.
Right.
And to
Yeah.
see who watches your show.
That part. I'm curious. I'm like, you saw me in the hot tub or?
This Alex, man, I really think that was like one of the greatest moments I've seen this year. It's like always those really awkward moments that stick in your head. And it was like, I was like, oh, I can't wait to meme this like just
Yeah.
down the line because it just really stood out. In that moment when you're filming that though, like I just can't imagine what you're actually going through. And then to realize there's cameras on you as well.
Yeah, and you actually like looking back on it, I see myself actually see the camera. I didn't see it before. And when I turn around, I look and I'm like,
The camera's like, yes.
and I was like,
you
oh
got
yeah,
it.
you're
We
there.
got
I
it."
forgot about this.
I asked you this before we did the interview, but because I was like, you have to be DJing at BravoCon because you are a professional DJ.
I know.
Why are you not DJing at BravoCon?
We really tried to work on it, and we could not.
I feel like it's a no-brainer.
We couldn't make it happen.
I mean, you've done NBA parties. You've done like, I mean, like
know.
you are the real deal. Like, where can we see you DJ?
So I usually do like parties. So I'll usually do a birthday party or a brand party, a fashion party. Like usually it's in a theme. I don't, have a residency anywhere. You might see me at Temple Bar soon though, working on that, just throwing that out there. But yeah, I'm just a free agent with everything that I do.
I asked you this the first time I talked to you, but what do you love to spin right now? Like what is the music that you're like, I love this track and I add it to every set I do?
Oof. I always use Vibrant Thing.
Yeah, Q-Tip, yeah.
With Q-Tip, that's my favorite music video. I love that. Lately, Ski has been a bop for me. Sexy Red is just a vibe. I always use Orange Soda by Baby Keem.
Yeah.
And always some Drake in there.
And what do you think of the new album? It's long.
Yeah, I haven't added any of his new stuff to my sets
Oh,
yet.
Drake.
But I usually don't like new projects until like the fourth time I've heard them. I
Yeah.
never like anything the first time I've heard it.
Is any Beyonce on your list?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Break My Soul is always in there, and I love Before I Let Go.
Before I let go. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is coming up for you? I was reading a little bit about your nonprofit. Is there anything happening there? And also, like, I feel like when you get into this space, you have this opportunity to really use it in great ways, like the nonprofit. But then also, like, do we have a skin line coming? Do we have what is coming up for you, Jordan?
So funny that you ask. I have a love for potatoes, as many of you know. So I'm starting a little lifestyle brand. It's called Club Potette.
Okay.
So you'll see a little glimpse of it at BravoCon with my little sweatsuit, getting ready with me.
Club Potette.
Club Potette.
This is
The Potato Club.
This is like Club Renaissance. This is Club
Basically,
Potette.
it's about to be a movement.
It's
about to be a movement and a vibe.
Anything with potatoes and vibe, I'm here for. Finally, somebody that's like speaking up for potatoes.
A whole community of us.
Don't
sleep on the tape.
We are legion.
We're out here.
So Club Potette, which we'll find out more about at BravoCon.
Yes, my swim line is coming out in December. 844 Swim.
Alex, you do not get to wear any of her swim line. Just we're telling you that now.
I might have a little something for him. I might have a little something for him too. Yeah, so those are the main things. And then my nonprofit, we are working on a partnership for our workshops because we used to have a physical space, but we closed it back in March.
Yeah.
So we're in the middle of negotiating a physical space for you guys to come see us and do our workshops and continue to support the women in our community.
I mean, you seem like such a positive person and you kind of have this glow about you. Are you just in the best place right now? Like, are you loving your life?
Ironically, over the summer and up until September, I was going through a serious bout of depression. I actually suffer from alopecia, and so my hair was falling out. I felt like I was gaining weight. Like I was just like stressed with a T at the end.
Yeah.
And I feel like the last couple of weeks I've really come out of it and I'm like in a very good space. And I'm like, you know what? I'm doing things are happening. Like, I feel like I can woosah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Well, we talk about mental health a lot on this podcast. So thank you for even sharing that with us, because I think we would all think, oh, your life's perfect. Oh my gosh, everything's going for you.
Yeah.
And I think it really does help for people to hear that people we think that have everything perfect, sometimes that's not the reality of the situation.
Oh, absolutely not. Like the way my anxiety is set up, what? Yeah, it can be crippling. It can be crippling.
And then to add all of us on top of it, we're always hey, who are you making out with? Like that's got to be insane for you.
It's weird, but honestly, I feel like when I log off, I'm tapped out. You know what I mean? Like when I log off, it doesn't feel that way.
Yeah.
But when I'm tapped in, I'm like, okay, ooh.
Sky's falling.
Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. Yeah.
Okay. So you guys, Jordan Emanuel, Winter House, you need to watch this show. It is only 2 episodes in, and I'm telling you, it is just one of those easy breezy shows that you actually have fun with. You get a little dirt, you get a little action, you watch Alex move in slow-mo. It's really, truly fun to watch. Then we have season 2 of Summer House Martha's Vineyard. All you have to do is watch like 8 episodes to catch up if you haven't yet. It is all on demand. They make it so easy for you to watch. And this show actually meant something to me. I thought it was so good on Sunday nights. I cannot wait for a second season. Then, of course, we've got Club Potette. We've got the swim line. We've got the BravoCon appearances. Everything is coming up, Jordan Emanuel. Thank you so much for being here and being an in-studio guest. I really appreciate it.
I always love chatting with you.
Yes.